Well guys, welcome back to another Scrapping Irish video, and first off, as always, thanks for taking the time to check out one of my videos. I always appreciate it. It's your first time being here, you've stumbled across me or whatever, why not hit the old subscribe button somewhere there. Well, it won't be there, but that'll be a reminder for you to hit the subscribe button, and maybe give it a thumbs up, maybe at the end, watch it first maybe. So if any of you aren't familiar with what my channel is about, I try to recover gold from e-waste, precious metals as well, other precious metals like silver, stuff like that, and I also dabble in a bit of regular scrapping as well for the copper and the aluminium. So I don't probably show as much of that on the videos as I do, because there's loads of other guys out there doing that kind of game. So again, I probably will show some videos as I go on, but anyhow, I digress. Back onto what the topic is today. So the topic is, you would have seen a video a while back where I would have bought some e-waste on eBay. Just an experiment to see, can you make money, what sort of prices should you be paying, stuff like that. So I've already done I think it's 3 parts done so far. So what I'll be doing is linking them every so often up here, and I might put the 3 of them at the end of the video or a playlist of them, and this one will be in the place as number 4. So what have we got here? This is the RAM that I got from it. So as you can see, there's a lot of different types of RAM, well, different brands of RAM. So we have the one with the flat BGAs, and then we have the ones with the smaller, again, so they're quite large, and then smaller ones, and then we'd have the ones then with the actual wire coming out here and them soldered along here. So we'd have them types. So essentially, I'm gonna, in this video, I want to take all these off, get them off, separate them into different. So I'll put these two into one type of tub, because they're more or less the same, but I'm dealing with them the same way, and all these type into another tub. Also, what I'm hoping to do as well is any of the RAM that has some of this gold flashing, I will separate that into a separate container as well, because I want to try, if I'm going to do this right, and if I'm going to see if it's what, I have to try and get every last bit of gold that is on these sticks. So some of them, as you can see like that, don't have any gold on the boards, so they just go aside. But any of them that have the gold flashing on them, I will keep, and we'll see what we're left with in that, and we'll get them probably put into copper chloride. And again, if you don't know what copper chloride is, I have videos up there on how I make copper chloride, what I use it for. So again, you can see the flashing here. So copper chloride should remove all them gold foils essentially from the boards. That's the plan anyhow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get myself set up there again. So you have some nice gold flashing along here. Again, some lightly gold flashed here and some heavier gold flashed here. So again, them boards I'm going to hold on to and separate them out, and we'll see what we have of them at the end of the video as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set myself up to get into this. So I'm going to take this down, set up something else, and we'll get moving on these. So when you come back, we'll be ready to go. Okay, so now I've set up. I have my, you would have seen this board probably thing where I had it before, where I used it on the I think it was some cards to remove all the chips and stuff from it using a multi-tool. But at the moment my shed is packed, I can't get in there, it's raining outside, so I'm going to have to do this inside. So my other choice of doing it when I'm doing it inside, again, I'll be using the board, but I won't be using the multi-tool, too loud inside, too much dust. So all I'll be using, and you would have seen this probably on previous videos if you are a subscriber, is I'll be using a chisel to remove these. So essentially all I'll be doing is I'll just rub the chisel down essentially down the board like that, and then that just takes off the actual chip. So, and then what I'll do afterwards, I have containers either side of me. So I have little containers, and I just throw in the chips in there, or when I do rake them and this is filled up, I'll separate the chips out into things. So that's essentially what I'll be doing on them type. So it's just a matter of running the chisel down there. And again, just be careful not to slice yourself. Wear some gloves if you're worried about cutting yourself. Again, I've done this loads of times. I have cut myself as well, and it is quite sore. Now, sometimes they don't come off that easy because when you're leaning over the camera, it makes it twice as hard to do. But that's the problem. It's very hard when you're leaning over the camera to do this. And I've been told before as well that when I'm talking, my voice is very low on these videos, and the reason that is probably because when I'm leaning over the camera, I don't want to talk too loud in case I shout into your ears. Anyone that has headphones on, such as Ralph Morrick, when he's watching his videos. So again, it's just a matter of doing that until you have it all done. So it is a bit time consuming, but if I wasn't leaning over the camera, I'd be getting it done a lot quicker. But anyhow, that's the demonstration of that. And then the other type is the, let me see if we have some here. I want to have a look for them. I might have. There we go. So it's these type. So again, I still can use the chisel, but it's a matter of getting it in underneath and just prying off the chip like that. So it is straightforward. And sometimes if you hit them in the wrong spot, they won't come off, but if you get them dead on, they just come off like that. So, and somebody might say, why am I going to all this trouble to take off them chips? Well guys, if you're not familiar with e-waste or gold recovery, these little chips all contain gold bonding wires. So you can even see here on the very tip we have a little dot of gold, but the main part, each one of these little solders, in between them will be gold bond wires running across. So the reason they use gold bond wires is because it's most of for delivering information accurately and not corroding or not breaking down. The gold is the best that you can use for it. So that's why they do it. Same as what's inside those chips. So again, now you probably can't see it, even though I broke this chip out. It's very hard to see the gold bond wires in there, but I think it was what's in a Raphael scrapper done something and he put them under the microscope and you could see the gold bond wires. So that's the reason I go after all these chips and store them up, and eventually I'll incinerate them and get the gold from them. But first I have to try and separate them out. And again, the reason I do it is to get these chips, and plus I want to get any of these boards that have gold flashing on them, so they're in there. So again, even though I'll be taking these chips off, I can just cut along here then, and then we can cut along there and put that into the copper chloride to get the gold, or the likes of these ones, which are nicely done already in a nice gold flashing on there. They can go straight into the copper chloride. It's nice and clean. And same this side, but we'd have to remove all these small bittings and stuff like that. But again, you can rub the multi-tool across them before you put them in, and that will remove any of the small bits, and I'll probably do that on a lot of them before I go home. So again, just to show one more time, because the rest of them I probably do off camera, and then we'll come back at the end and we'll see what we ended up with, because the moment is just, again, let me focus in a bit more, or zoom in, not focus in, zoom in. So, and I'm leaning over the camera, so sorry if I'm shouting in your ears, but I try not to. And that's all I'm doing. Just give it a quick wiggle and that can go into the container. So again, now you could use a multi-tool. I've seen people just chuck these into copper chloride, and the copper chloride will eat away the tin wire or whatever, the solder, and let them fall off. But then you have to go taking them out of the acid and filtering the acid. Plus, if the copper chloride starts to eat the copper under the boards, you will start to get gold flakes coming off as well. and then you have the gold flakes mixed in with all the small bits and mixed in with these chips and everything. So essentially it just leads to a lot more work. Copper chloride is great if you just want to clean up a board. So like afterwards, if I wanted to, before I throw this into fresh copper chloride or something like that, I can put that in there. It'll dissolve all these little bits and leave a clean clean board, and then the gold can come off, and you'll be able to get your gold flakes easier filtered. So that's just a demonstration of how I do it on them. And again, as I said, the other chips, the likes of the flat ones, let me get some of the smaller flat ones on it. Or actually, some of the bigger flat ones maybe. So again, you can see here we have these chips, and all I do is just get the chisel, put it in underneath and pop them off. Now these chips, as you'll see, is one layer on top, and then underneath you have this glass layer. So I'm not sure if these are really worth doing, but again, if there's any gold on the board, I'll do them. I might as well take them off. There is some like little gold dot up here in the corner, as you can see, so that means hopefully there's gold bonfires in there. So that's what I'll be doing. You could do this, I suppose, if you're watching TV or something. You could have the TV on, watching some YouTube, and just be working away on these. So again, even these small ones, just put it in underneath, and all I'm doing is pressing and twisting, and then off comes the little BGA chip. So guys, I'm going to do these all off camera. No point you watching me just take off them. I've given a demonstration how to do it, because again, leaning over the camera trying to do it, if I might do a different setup where I can set the camera up and maybe you can watch me doing some of them, and we can speed it up. But this is too awkward where the camera is set up for me to sit down and actually sit at the table and do them. So we'll see what I've done. Did I just go straight to the end where I've done them all, or did I just run through a few here so you could see what I was doing? So let's see how we got on. Okay guys, so I have nearly depopulated all the all the chips so far, but you're probably wondering, what am I doing with some copper chloride and stuff here? Because so far I've just depopulated these ones which had the gold flakes on them, or the gold flashing. So one more to be done, but I decided to leave that for I want to show you. But what about all the ones that don't have the gold flashing on them? A quick and easier way, and the reason I didn't put the gold flashed ones into the copper chloride is I don't want to remove the gold yet, because that will be a mess then trying to get the gold and the pins and the chips and everything. So anything with the gold flashing I use the chisel for, just to remove them. But I've seen a couple of YouTubers and a couple of refiners do it this way, so I said let's have a go at it. So I had some old copper chloride left over there, and I stuck these into it and left them overnight. So hopefully, let me get an old stick here that I've depopulated, so hopefully they should just slide off and straight in. So that's just water I've in there, and so it's a very quick and efficient way of doing it. Again, if you have some old copper chloride left over, you can just use your old copper chloride to do this. So as the copper chloride will eat away the metal and leaves the boards intact. But if there was any gold on the boards, I'm sure that we would have seen them floating off at this stage. So I'm going to just clean up these few boards that I've done, wash the chips, dry the chips, and we'll get a weigh up of what there is in them. So make sure, guys, you come back on. Well, it'll be instantly for you guys, where you'll get to see what has happened, and we'll see what we ended up getting in the end. So let's go in and let me finish this up, and you guys can see the results. Let's see what weight of chips we got. Right, so here we are about to weigh up our chips and see what we've got. So that'll give me a rough idea of what I can expect from the gold recovery. Going with a usual, people I've seen getting a gram up to 2 grams per pound from the chips from the ram sticks. Now I've seen some people get more, but it's very few I've seen do that. But anyhow, first off, the two methods I used there was the just using the chisel, and the reason I used the chisel on some and not on them all was the ones I used the chisel on were the ones that had the gold plating on the back. So the likes of this stick here, which has the gold plating on the back, and the reason I didn't want to use the copper chloride method on that way was I didn't want the gold flakes to start coming off and going in with the pins and with the all these little chips and all the MLCCs and all the little other little bits and pieces of components that are on the sticks. So anything that had gold on it, I used the chisel to remove, and any of them that was no gold flashing anywhere to be seen on the board, I put into copper chloride. Again, that copper chloride method, I've seen a few people use it before, and I think the last person and the one that I'll give the credit to for this one is Kitefire. So he's got a YouTube channel there, he does refining and stuff like that as well. So it was his channel that I seen doing that, and I said I'll give it a go on this and see how it is, and I have to say it is 1,000 times quicker than using the chisel. So if you have any of the ram sticks that haven't got the gold, you have some old copper chloride that you want to get rid of. So guys, if you have some old copper chloride that you want to get rid of, then that's the method, is the best method, I think. It's just to wash it out, dry it and whatever. So you'll see here the ones I done with the chisel and the ones I done with the copper chloride. You can tell the difference straight away, because the copper chloride ones have like a rust color on them. So that's like from when I use the acid, and then when I washed them out and left them to dry out, the metal parts had gone the rusty and rusted very quickly. So that's where they are. And the ones I use the chisel on, you can see again they are pretty clean, no rust marks on them at all. But that isn't going to make a difference whether there's rust or no rust on them when you come to refining them later. Now what I might do when I'm going to refine these is, because the copper chloride eats away the metal, I might, let me focus, I might put all these into copper chloride and see will it eat away these metal legs on the outside, because when it comes to refine these later, when incinerating and getting rid of the metal, there'll be less metal to get rid of, less magnetic metals to get rid of. Anyhow, I digress. We're going to do a little weigh-in. So let's see what we have in weight. So we have a little tub in here. So we'll get it zeroed and we'll go in pounds, I think, for this one. So for all you American people out there who like to measure everything in pounds, let's see what we have. Okay, so that's all of the ones that I done the copper chloride with, but these are the same type, so they're going in. Put them, makes no difference. I'm just putting them in so we can get an actual weight on them. So that there is 4.45 pounds. So going on a gram to 2 grams, I will get anywhere from 4 grams to maybe 8 grams from that, hoping for the 8 grams. But even if we ended up somewhere in the middle, 6 grams, just for the sake of it, that will give me 6 grams of gold, which isn't too bad, hopefully. Now, we'll take that away, and we still have, that was just from the what's called dim type, and then there was the BGA type chips. So you have your BGA type chips. So again, I use the chisel for removing them, and you can actually see, if you look close enough, you'll see the gold dots and stuff like that on it. So there is gold in there, we know that anyhow. But so again, same sort of return on them. So let's get them weighed up. So again, we have that zeroed, and we end up in 1.45. So that was 4.45, so that's 5.45. So you could say nearly 6 pounds, just under 6 pounds. So 5.9 pounds of chips. And again, what will, going by the grams, that can be anywhere from 5, we could say, we'll call it 6 pounds. So that is anywhere from 6 grams to 12 grams. So again, we'll split it in the middle, and if I got somewhere around 9 grams, I'd be very happy with that, given the current gold price of around 50 euro. I think it's 50 something euro. So I'd say 50 euro, multiply that by 9, that's 450 in gold. So I nearly have my money back that I paid. I think it was 500, if I can remember, without the actual gold from the RAM themselves. And I still have to try and attempt to get the gold from these. So you'll see a video coming up in some other stage where I will try and get the actual gold from these sticks that I've left over. So I'm going to be using the copper chloride method again for that, but that'll be in a future video. So that's kind of it for this video. So they're the weights, and we'll hopefully get to incinerate them soon enough, depending on weather and stuff like that, and depending on how busy I get with work and stuff, other stuff that can interfere with this YouTube and e-waste hobby that I have. But as always, thanks for all your support. Thanks for watching, guys. I know a lot of people will say it and people go, oh, he doesn't really mean that. I do. I really do mean it. I appreciate it. And I understand how much time it takes up YouTube for watching stuff and keeping up on everyone's videos. So anyone that's been watching my videos and sticking with me, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks a lot. And any new subscribers, hopefully you will stay for the long haul, and we can grow this channel bigger and get some gold at the end of it. So as always, thumbs up, guys, and without you, this channel would be nothing. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.